my name is Jena Apgar. Most of y'all know me from the networking. And you'll see I'm going to try to use the television here is going to be predominantly what you're looking for. Did anybody bring their phones, their tablets, their laptops? If you did, you can try to play along. If not, you can just focus on the presentation. And because it is on Facebook Live, when you're at home with your computer and everything opened up, you can just open this and play it again if you need any help. But obviously this is the Richardson Plano Networkers Group. This is our Friday Lunch and Learn. And today I'm going to be teaching you about Evernote. Does anyone currently have Evernote here?
I have it on my phone, but I don't even remember how to sign in.
Now lots of people, same thing. So lots of people I've talked to, they have Evernote and they're like, I don't get it. And the only thing I could think of this morning is why that happens is Evernote is both absolutely nothing and absolutely everything. Evernote is built on a platform that kind of is what it is you make it. What do you need it to do? How many people here have a Dropbox account? How many in here have a paid Dropbox account?
My husband does.
$10 a month, right? So you're spending $10 a month. Yeah, you're forced because you have so much space, right? You're spending $10 a month, $120 a year, and all it does is hold files for you and let you share them, right? Evernote can do that for free. Now there is a limitation, just like, you know, Dropbox, but at the most expensive level, the most expensive that it'll hold, it is only $70 a year. And not only do you have the capacity to work on the same exact note from your iPhone, your iPad, or Android, Google users, your smartphones here, your tablets, your laptops, your computer, you can have your Evernote installed on every single device you own. And it will sync as soon as you make changes. So if you're on the go, you're with a client, you could draw up some notes in Evernote, you can sit there and turn around and that will sync to your main computer. And you can also have it at the paid level, not the free level. It will hold those offline for you, so it will completely sync them. So when you're off, like David is now, in the middle of nowhere, you can still access your notes. You still can add to your notes, even though you have zero internet connection. And when you do get internet connection, it will sync back up to all your notes again. Just like Dropbox, it will store, you can drag photos in there, you can drag PDFs in there. It completely syncs with Google Docs, so I know especially the younger generation is completely moving away from Microsoft Word and those sorts of programs. It will work with Google Docs and bring them right in. You can share them just like Dropbox. So like Dropbox gives you the opportunity, you can either have an open link where you can share it with the entire world. Anyone who has that link has access to your Dropbox account. You can do that with Evernote as well. But you can also say, I only want this person, and this person to see it. You can turn around and give them edit permission. So imagine now you're working on the team. You can now all share one note and make changes, and it's made instantaneously. You can sit there and have different ways, like somebody's writing in one color, you're writing another. You can annotate the changes. You can add images. You can add those files all in one note. So I think we have one realtor in the room. There we go. You could have one note for every client. You could have any of the documents you need for that client all specified in that one either notebook or note, depending on how you wanted to set this up. So now I'm talking about notes and notebooks, and you're like, Evernote has the ability to sort everything. You have a hierarchy on your desktop where you almost have like a briefcase that will hold notebooks. And the briefcase is just something that says this is what this is. For me, I have one that says these are all my client notebooks. These are all my employee notebooks. And then here's my personal business stuff. Inside of that are what's called a notebook. Think about like if you have a notebook and you're a high schooler and you've got the big folio that costs like $30. Think of that as like the notebook. It just holds all your individual notes. All these notes, go ahead.
Is it similar in structure and concept to Microsoft OneNote?
I have no idea. I'm a Mac girl all the way through and through.
Came on and they do have one specifically for Windows.
Yeah, they have it for Windows and they have it for Mac, but I can't tell you if it's like Microsoft OneNote or not.
Okay.
I would doubt it has the full capability, and I'll get into that. But then you have notebooks, or those individual notes, and inside of that structure, you can have categories and tags. So everything can be sorted in a way that works for your business. Let's see if I can go scroll down here, my Apple self trying to use a PC. So I've kind of explained to you to make a note of it, and the notes hold everything. So you don't have to have an individual note for every type of document. So think about Dropbox, you just move files in there and that's all it does for you. You can be working on a note, you can build your content in there, you can move pictures in there, and everything is easy to access in that one note. So like I said, for a realtor, if she's got all her potential clients, or all the people that are looking for a house, she can have one note for each one of them. She can have all the, either the links to the listings they've seen, pictures they've taken, notes that they've added about those houses that she can access them anywhere. So I don't know how you are, but once you start to stack up enough clients, they all kind of blur together, especially if you're working in one neighborhood. That would help you differentiate very quickly. Man, who am I talking to again? Sarah, or which Sarah? It kind of helps you pull that up real quick. I kind of mentioned that you can have it anywhere, on any device, whether you have internet or not. Obviously, as I mentioned, if you're going to take it offline, you're going to have the premium, and that one is the $70 a year. You can share it with anyone. And then, let's see if I go over here. So Basic is the one that's free. And with Basic, you can do a lot of everything that I've told you. The only thing you cannot do is you do not get premium support. You are maxed out, I think, to 60 megabytes a day. They'll have to check me, but there is like a limitation on how much you can store. One of the cool features of Evernote that I like to use daily, and I think Google came up with it, or they certainly go by the practice, is having a zero inbox at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, you're done. Everything is cleared out so that when you come back the next day, you have a brand new list. That is really hard to do when you consider how many emails that we come through, and you're like, what if I need that? Or are you thinking about an attorney? He's like, I will need that. I need to keep copies of every single piece of correspondence. When you go up to Evernote Plus, that level, you get a special email address that you can forward every single email directly to Evernote into your main folder. I just named my main folder Emails to Save, because that's basically everything that I use that folder for, like the basic one. So I can just send there everything, whether it's pictures my daughter sent me and I just want to save those pictures, whether it's business stuff, client stuff, I can just send it all that way. And if it is business stuff, I'll come back onto my computer and move it into their business file. The other big thing that, two things, is for the premium level. Obviously, you get unlimited space, much more so. And the other one is, so you go to all these networking events, Grover, you catch a lot of business cards. You can now take a picture of a business card, it brings it into Evernote, and it takes all that information, like my name, Jena Apgar, and it turns it into like an actual Word file. So it's no longer just a picture. So it'll actually save the picture of the business card from the person, but it'll bring that information up. It'll let you have the ability to change it. Some of these people have business cards that are horrific to read from a computer standpoint, and so you might have to change and finesse a few things. But now that information is searchable. So you're trying to hire a DJ, and you met this DJ one day. It was a long time ago at some networking event, way back in, October, and, it's January now, and you're like, man, I'm planning a wedding for May, and I have, no idea, but I know I met one, and I knew he was good. So you can go up there, and you can search DJ in Evernote. Any word that's in your note is searchable, and now everything that has to do with DJs will now pop up, including his business card. And that makes it incredibly helpful if you ever need somebody. You go to all these networking events. What's the point of going to a networking event? Collecting all these business cards if you can never use them, if you never have that information, if you put the business card in your back pocket, you undo all your stuff when you're getting, undressed for the evening, and you forget it. It gets lost in the fold. I've got a pile. My husband's got a pile where he undresses of business cards and random notes. Yeah. If any of y'all know Bob Swartz, he had a box of them of 3,000. It was just I don't know what to do with these, but I'd like to do something. You're like, you're killing me. That's a little bit more overwhelming, but if you take a picture of them instantly, at the end of every networking meeting, now it's not overwhelming. Right? The other thing that you can do at that premium level is you can take something that's a note straight from a computer like this and make it a presentation. So kind of one of the things that it's replacing, it's taking away the need to ever need Microsoft Word. It takes away the need to ever need Microsoft Excel. You can go like, how much is Microsoft Office these days? It's really, no, that's right, they went to a subscription, didn't they? Isn't it monthly?
Subscription, $100 a year or $300 if you do a one-time purchase.
You can take that away. Between Google Docs and Evernote, you don't have a need for that Microsoft Office suite whatsoever. And anytime you can save money, it's always cool.
Will Evernote replace everything that Office Suite has?
So
Word, Excel.
Evernote in combination with Google Docs. And yes, you can absolutely take everything from a Google Doc and save it to any format that you need. You can save it to a, what do they call it in Mac? Word, not Word, Pages. You can save it as a Pages document. You can save it as a Word doc and send it to anybody. So my sister, she was talking in her business class in college, and he just kind of laughed. He's like, it won't exist in a few years. Because all those students are growing up and they've never had to need it in college. It's just something that's plugged into your computer and it's recommended to you, so you buy. But even at a student level, I would think it was like $130. That's really expensive.
Free.
Is it? Oh, it wasn't for my...
Part of the tuition. If you,
Oh,
depending on
for
what
the
school you
tuition.
go to.
For high schoolers, I had to buy it for my daughter who needed it, and it was $127 with a new computer. Even on a Mac, which has taken the price down for all three, for the presentations, the Excel, and the Word thing that they have, that's $60. Google Docs is free, and Evernote at its most expensive right now is $70 a year. So between the two of them, you can completely share all your documents, work within Teams, save everything you need, and you don't need Dropbox, you don't need Word, you don't need Excel. Even Evernote, I can go in here and I can create a spreadsheet. Now, it doesn't have the capability to do a spreadsheet like a full mathematical spreadsheet. It's more like a visual table, and that's where Google Docs would come in, but it's fully integrated with Google Docs. You just push a button, tell it which one you want, and it comes in. So an example of kind of how I use it, this is on a very particular note of mine, and I did this one on purpose because this is Evernote itself. You can create templates, and other people who, like, they have Evernote consultants, they can create templates for you to purchase depending on what you need or how far you're going with it. But Evernote has a lot done for you. Like, you know, you go online and you Google, like, I need a spreadsheet, or I need one for taxes or something like that. You can go into Evernote and they have a template library. So here's a note inside Evernote I picked up. And these are some of the templates they have specific to marketing. So here's one that keeps all your assets. So you can have all your logos. So like when I create a branding and a marketing campaign for a company, I've got usually a square version of the logo, a log or horizontal version of the logo. Those are in color. I also have white versions. I've got micro versions that are good for, on the internet, and I've got bigger versions that we can put into any file I want. I've got ones with backgrounds. I have ones with transparent. I've got original files. I move all those assets into a note on Evernote. So not only do I keep them all in one spot, I don't have to worry about my computer crashing, but my client can access them at any given time. I have access to them anytime. So if I'm working in, like, you were here September 9th, I did one of all the different applications you can use to create your marketing images and stuff. I can pull that into Typic immediately. I can go from my phone, download it, upload it into Typic, and now I have my logo, and I can create social media things for any one of my clients at any given time from any platform, because I have everything right there. They have everything right there whenever they need it. I don't have to wait till I go back to my big computer at home, or, where I'm on my laptop, I'm on a meeting, I don't have my external hard drive with me. I don't need that because it's in the little cloud that is Evernote. It's in a note where I know I can find it, and all their stuff is there. And I don't just keep their logos in there. I keep all their client avatars. I keep their marketing messages. I keep their client steps that we work out from start to finish. All that's in one spot, so my client can find it, and I can find it. So that's one of the templates they have for marketing. They have a content calendar, or a marketing calendar. If her name's Susan, that was here about a month ago. she talked about a content calendar, and you're like, what is that? They have a template already for you, and it even has instructions at the top on how to use it. So if you've never used a content calendar before and you're trying to market your company, not only can you keep that message in Evernote, but they're going to help you put it together. So that's just an example. Like I said, they have all sorts of templates. They have your marketing personas, and that's just an example of what they have. If I go over here to my little Evernote, not used to using it on a PC. Here's my notebooks. So here you can see I have all my notebooks. Oh, sorry, yes I do. Those are my other clients. So here's an example. This is my client briefcase. I have one notebook for every one of my clients, and I have all their stuff inside their notebooks, including one that I have that is just a client master. One of the things that I love about Evernote the most is this little click box. That's like a little checklist. So you can keep all your to-do list and just check them down, and I can click at any time and make it turn into a little check mark that shows that I've done it. If you're working on a team, so you have multiple people or you have clients, I can set up these shared notebooks, and when I click that, everybody knows that part's done. So there's no duplication of effort. Where would be a good example of that? So here's a good one. Each one of my clients, I try to put them all in a little box, but nobody's business is exactly the same, right? You have different sizes, the different things that you're doing, and different needs. So from proposal to proposal, it can get really complicated for me to remember who needs business cards, who needs a full marketing plan, who already has one, who needs a website. On their website, what do they need? Because there's a lot of different aspects to a website. It's not just, oh, here's a website. It needs images, it needs content. Does it need sales content? Does it need the more of like an informational added content? Do they need a lead magnet? Do they need boxes to collect those leads? Does it need a contact? Do I need to work with MailChimp? It's a lot of information to keep track of. This is just one giant overview. I have each one of the sections up in here that I can check off and all my employees can look at. And I have what's included. So when I go through, the very first time when I'm onboarding that client, I can go through step by step for their proposal, click on here in the first checkbox, what's included, so that I know that I need to know this is what needs to be done. Every one of my employees can look at that. At any given point, my client doesn't have to call me. Anytime I don't have to take a phone call, I'm a happy person. They can just come over here and see this is done, this is done. Hey, I thought this would be done by now, and then they'll call me and say, I kind of need this next week. I know that's rushed, but I need it for a speaking engagement. I can keep track of all that in there. Let's see, where's my marketing one? I moved it to a different, let me go to an actual client's notebook. I've used the attorney before. So here's an example of all the different images to use. They're all just in one spot. That way he can grab on any time and I know where they're at. I keep his entire marketing plan in here. So it's a checklist, another checklist. I'm a big fan of checklists. When I've decided the more clients you have and the more employees you have, you need lots of checklists so everyone knows where everyone's at. A checklist of each section on here to see if it's done. Client avatars, that's stored in one spot. All his logos. His full color palette, so all my designers know exactly what colors I want to be used. Statements of value. Here's an example of the grid. I used it with the product market fit. Again, it's not going to do, all the fancy numbers that Excel will do and add stuff for you and get into complex algorithms, but it will hold information for you. A list of their journey, their social media audits, listening, networking, utilizing all these tables. I can put links inside those tables, which is nice to use. And I just told it, again, this is anything you make it. This is how I use it. How you use it is very unique, so I have no idea how I am on time. But I'll go ahead and take questions because that is probably the best way to help you use Evernote the way you need it. Let's start with Lisa.
Okay, one of my questions, one is for clarification.
Okay.
Where it does the business card and it'll store it and where it's searchable, is that in the premium only?
Premium only.
Okay, and then does that also have, because I've been looking at trying to put in place like some sort of, CRM type, like ACT and some of those other different types of contact management databases where you can like really, you can set reminders and stuff. Does this have any kind of capability like that?
I would not use this as a CRM.
Okay.
Now, if you were a very small business, you're not thinking about a lot of people, or like I had mentioned, like on a real estate level, as a, because a CRM, it kind of keeps track of, if anybody doesn't know what that word means, that just means that you're keeping track of all your people. If you're just keeping track of notes for that person, it's great, because you can keep very detailed notes where even the most robust CRM systems, you can't keep track of the littlest details. You can't keep track of those images. You can't keep track of, you can write a note and you might put links in there, but you're not going to be able to keep detailed. I use ActiveCampaign for that, and that one's $9 a month. And that's in my toolbox. If you wrote your email down, I'll send it out to you. But no, I would not use it for a complete, holistic, like full-level CRM system at all. It's just more for keeping your clients and your notes all in one spot. Let's go.
I was going to ask you to scan a card in if you couldn't show what it looks like. Possibility?
I can, as soon as I get my phone back from Facebook Live, I will show y'all an example of that.
Jenna, since we're on business cards, so I can capture the business card, it'll pull it around and rearrange it into whatever format. Can I then take that and map it over into my CRM?
Do you see this face and how angry this is? They know that that's a limitation, and they're working on it, is what I've been told.
Because some of us are in professions and there's some things we can and can't do, and
Now,
can and can't use.
This is not one of those things. You're not going to be able to scan 1,000 business cards in and then pull an Excel spreadsheet from it.
Okay.
And that is a severe limitation. I've seen it hacked. I'm not trying to do that. Like that, when I was reading the hack to do it, it went right over my head, and I was like, I don't have time for this. And that is a limitation on every single card scanner. I looked, because when I was scanning Bob's cards, and he's got 3,000 of them, and I'm like, what in the world? There's not a good system for that.
So I can't scan 1,000 business cards. Could I scan 995?
You can take your time with your phone. I actually found it better just to hire someone to copy down the information and put it direct in an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
It's along the same lines. It's not portable over to like Google Contacts either.
I think it is portable over to your contacts. And I don't know if specifically Google. I know I can pull it into my personal contacts.
Okay. All right, so you can pull it out of Evernote into your
Yeah,
other address books. And this along this,
individually though.
and
Yeah.
along the same lines, if you leave all the business cards in Evernote as the database, can you just like click on their email address and it'll open up your default email?
If you click on their email address, it immediately opens your email client, so you can email them directly. If you click on their phone number, it just automatically calls it, and that
so
makes
you
it.
can use this as a replacement for any contact because it's going to be connectable to your phone and to your email, and you're not going to have to worry about contact.
And I would just suggest that you have a separate notebook that says business cards, so that all your notes are all in that one area.
Can you import contacts from other?
I think that's the taking a picture of the business card.
But you're like, so if I have 500 contacts in my Google Contacts,
I don't think that's how it works.
I can't pull them in.
It won't interface with the CRM.
Yeah.
Coming or going.
I can't pull them. Okay,
Yeah.
Right, it
so I'd
won't
have to
interface
take
with
repicture.
Or add them in, yeah.
Manually. Okay, cool. So any kind of invoicing?
There are invoicing templates.
Okay.
So you could create the
Right.
invoice in there, but I mean, that's not going to send it to them.
Right.
But if you are sharing that note with them, and that's an invoice, but for an invoice, I like to have that send receive note. I want to know that they have it. That's fine. Yes.
What CRM product do you use?
CRM products. If y'all added your name to the list, I send out my toolbox, and it has Evernote links in there, but everything. But I'm a big fan of ActiveCampaign, hands down. In fact, I just paid a lot of money to get certified in it to know it even better. But there is no CRM out there that has the power, the capabilities that ActiveCampaign has the ability to go to, that also has an entry-level mark. So you can get into ActiveCampaign for $9, have just as much power as any Constant Contact or MailChimp on their paid levels, and you have a full CRM at that level. Now, it's not as complex as like Salesforce or Infusionsoft at that level, but if you take it to just $49 a month, you do. So most people don't need it past that lowest level until you're getting into a much bigger business, or if you have a more complicated sales process.
So you pay $9 a month for that product?
I do.
Do you recommend any free ones?
I mean, MailChimp, I think, is the only one that's free.
CRM?
That's not really a CRM. That's more just an email.
That's just a constant contact.
A CRM, now you're getting to a higher level of technology. And I think HubSpot has come up with a new free level. HubSpot gets very expensive very quickly.
Kind of like Act.
Yes. HubSpot used to be extremely expensive to get into, like I want to say over $10,000, depending on what level your business was. So they created a free version to reel you in, but to really use it at your full capability, I believe you have to merge your website over to their technology as well.
So what a good way to look at, because when I originally got Evernote several years ago, one of my friends worked for Apple.
Okay.
And he's who told me about it whenever I got my iPad. So I loaded it on my iPad, I've got it on my phone, which is Android, but I don't have it on my computer, so there's a desktop version, I take it, of Evernote. And so a good way to think about it then would be anything you'd want to keep notes on. It's a good place to put it all the way down to the nth degree,
So,
like what you're talking about, and keeping things organized in there where it's like just very convenient.
So anybody uses Pinterest in here? If you're using Evernote on a desktop, a really nice feature is when you're on the internet and you find something cool, you can pin it. If that web page goes away, your link is now no good. And like, especially in my industry, digital marketers, their stuff goes in and out. They delete web pages all the time. So that information is just gone. If you do it in Evernote, there's a web clipper that you can install like right there in your toolbar. You can clip that, and it will take in different ways that you could depict. You can say the whole entire article, a simplified article, just words and images, piece that I scan. That will move that article also into your Evernote. So just like Pinterest, you can take what you want and move it over, except now it's accessible without the internet. And if it goes away, you still got it. So just because they delete their address, and it moves the link over there too, so you can click the link in case it is still there. The other thing about Evernote is if you take it to another level, if you're not just using it as a Pinterest, Dropbox, basic thing to keep your employees, there are large companies, like I think there's a note on their website where they have half of all the Fortune 500 companies on Evernote. And to me, that's amazing. One reason I think that is because there's a separate chat where you can kind of email, text message back and forth. So I almost don't want to open my inbox anymore. I get like 1,000 emails a day, and I'm just overwhelmed between the junk and what's in there. Every one of my employees messages me directly inside Evernote. So our entire conversation stream is inside there. Every one of my clients knows that if they need to get me, that is the best way to get me. It pops up just like a text message on my phone, and that way I'm not weeding through 1,000 emails trying to find a client message. And that way all of our stuff's in one spot, and anybody who's ever dealt with anything litigious knows that it's nice to have that running stream saved somewhere where you don't have to worry about, 33,000 deleted emails, all in one spot. Had to go there, right? But on a big scale for Evernote, I've seen entire firms run entire accounting processes through there. So if Grover's company sends him out to Uganda as a mission trip, and they've got to pay for airline tickets. Anytime he buys food, he gets a receipt. All those accountants want the receipts, right? You can take a picture of the receipt and just stash it, and immediately before you even get home from Uganda, your receipt's already been taken into accounting, and everyone can sign off on it. They have approval boxes at the premium level, and it all gets taken care of, and all accounting can be run through there It's all documented. Everyone who needs to see it can have access, and it's easy and done. So again, I'm a big fan of any kind of technology that can democratize really expensive systems down to systems that are small and need as few people as possible to handle them.
How does Evernote compare and contrast with OneNote?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, you're not
I'm anti-Microsoft PC. I'm a Mac girl through and through.
I mean, from what you told me, I use OneNote, or from what Jenna said today. OneNote is purely just the note-taking piece
Yeah.
itself. It just purely acts as a
Just
tab
note-taking.
notebook. It doesn't have the scanning for the cards. I mean, yeah, you can import pictures, but I haven't really found the database searchability or anything. I've used it purely as a digital notebook.
So, and the other thing is, at the premium level, so at that $70 a year level, one of the other nice features at that specific level only, unfortunately, is when you upload or, you pull in a Word document, you pull in a PDF document, it scans those for words. So that when you go into the search box and you search DJ again, if that word DJ was only in one of your documents, it pulls it as well.
Very good.
All right. Yay!
But even though it sounds like an aha, it sounds like a discriminator, what it's doing is it's planting in the customer's mind, well, I wonder how the other guy did. So when you're selling a product and you talk about your things that you're offering, and you talk about something unique that your company has achieved,